At this point in our ceremony, we present the President's Medal to the law school's most outstanding alumni and leaders who have made the greatest contributions to the history of New York Law School by their exemplary professional lives and generosity. It is my privilege to introduce this year's President's Medal recipient, Arthur N. Abbey, from the class of 1959 and chairman of the Board of Trustees at New York Law School since 1999. There is not an inch of New York Law School that does not bear his thoughtful, generous, and impactful mark. The most visible of these marks is our beautiful new academic building, which was conceived and built during his chairmanship. In addition, he and his wife Diane conceived of and founded the Diane Abbey Law Center for Children and Families, which is having a profound impact on the city and on the expert training of our students. And finally, hundreds of our students have already been the beneficiaries of his tremendous support of scholarships. Mr. Abbey founded his own law firm, Abbey, Spanier, Rod, Abrams, and Paradis, LLP, more than 30 years ago. He received his Bachelor of Arts in 1957 from Hofstra University, his Bachelor of Laws in 1959 from New York Law School, and his Master's in Business Administration in 1961 from NYU. Over the years, Mr. Abbey has appeared in almost every federal court in the United States, as well as many different state courts throughout the country. He's a pioneer in the field, and he's a leading practitioner in the area of securities, antitrust, and consumer litigation. And he has negotiated hundreds of class action settlements, achieving extraordinary results for his clients and class members. Recently, he won a more than $4 billion jury award for his clients after a months-long trial against defendant Vivendi. This is believed to be the largest jury award ever in any securities class action. For his work, he was nominated for the 2010 Trial Lawyer of the Year Award by the Public Justice Foundation. And for the second year in a row, he was named to the Law Dragon 500 Leading Lawyers in America. In addition to serving currently as chairman of the board, Mr. Abbey is also chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Federal Bar Council and chairman of the Joint Audit Committee of the Federal Bar Council and the Federal Bar Foundation. Today, New York Law School honors Arthur N. Abbey with the President's Medal. This is for his inspiring leadership, his distinguished and dedicated service to the law school, and his outstanding accomplishments and influence in the field of law. Mayor Bloomberg will place the President's Medal around Mr. Abbey's neck.
Like an out-of-body experience. They're talking about you and you're just sitting there listening to them. Mayor Bloomberg, Dean Crowell, dear Abbey family members who are here today, distinguished participants in this graduation, family members, guests of the graduates, and especially the class of 2013. Congratulations to all of you on this very special morning. How happy I am to share this special day with you and to receive the school's highest honor. I only wish that my mother and father were here to witness this honor, just as they were in 1959 at my graduation. I want to specifically mention that here today for me as special guests are my wife, Diane, our two children, Leslie and Jonathan, my brother Ken, and his wife, Hattie. Now I would like to switch gears and go back in time to the 1950s when I first became connected to the law school. I attended New York Law School from 1957 to 1959 as a married, full-time day student. I was the first person in my immediate family to not only become a lawyer, but to graduate from high school. Growing up, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I found law school challenging but fun. A career in the law has truly been a great fit for me. As a student and through the present, I am still married to the same wonderful woman. Some of the graduates have interacted with her. She is a non-lawyer who cares greatly about children and families, hence the Diane Abbey Center for Children and Families, which she founded at New York Law School. Her support of me for the 56 years that we have been married has been unwavering. I still marvel at how steadfast her support has been. When I graduated in 1959, the ceremony could not be held at Lincoln Center, and that's because it didn't exist. That year, our graduation was held at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Like Lincoln Center for you, I thought the Waldorf was a pretty cool place to have a graduation. In 1959, the school was on the east side of Lower Manhattan, close to the Brooklyn Bridge. That site was acquired by the city of New York in the 1960s, and the New York Police Department has built its headquarters on the old site of New York Law School. With the proceeds from the sale to the city, the then trustees moved us to Tribeca at our present site. Who could have ever imagined how beautiful and state-of-the-art our site would become? There were about 80 people in my graduating class. This class has more than 500, with roughly half of the graduates in this class being women. Incredibly, in the class of 1959, out of the 80 students who graduated with me, only one was a woman. Almost all of our law school classes were required. I don't remember having any choice over which classes to take. Day classes began every day at 9 a.m. and ended at noon. There were no afternoon classes, but there was an evening program. At noon, right after my last class, I walked past City Hall, then the office of Mayor Robert Wagner, and headed to a law firm on Wall Street, where I worked as a clerk. In my first year, I was paid $1 per hour, $20 a week, until I got a raise in my second year to $1.25 an hour, or $25 a week. At the time, my wife and I lived in Greenwich Village, where the rent on our one-room apartment was $76 a month. My afternoon clerk's job covered our rent. Tuition was about $600 a year. Under $2,000 for 3 years, and students complained how expensive law school was. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? I graduated in 2.5 years by taking classes in the summer. My grades were good, but not great. My schedule left little time for the few student activities that were then available. I was elected president of my law school fraternity, then called Phi Delta Phi. At the time, there were no student loans, though military veterans were given financial assistance from the U.S. government under what was called the GI Bill of Rights. In the 1950s, military service was mandatory, and after graduation, I was required to do my part for our country. After being discharged from the Army, I found a job with a small law firm at $125 a week, $6,000 per year. My wife became a high school teacher in the Bronx. Her starting salary was $4,200 a year. Combined, we were earning $10,000. We both felt lucky and actually pretty well off. To say that things have changed 54 years after my graduation is, of course, a vast understatement. But yet, some important things have not changed. For instance, it was not easy then to get a job, and I had to find my first real lawyer's job by myself. Then the school provided no assistance for employment, and all graduates were on their own. I composed individual letters to lawyers that I thought would be a good job fit for me. I researched background information about the lawyers, and each letter was drafted to catch the attention of the recipient. My approach obviously bore fruit, and I began working for a small firm that had a fairly sophisticated practice. I soon came to realize that the best security was not in having a job working for other lawyers, but having my own clients in my own practice. I started my law firm with one associate who is still my partner, and the firm grew to the point where we were 25 lawyers. We always made a point of trying to hire New York Law School graduates. Because of my interest in finance, I developed a specialty representing defrauded investors in public companies. This area of the law was not something that I learned in law school, but one that I actually developed on my own. A great opportunity came when the federal rules made class actions possible. I saw the benefit of making individual securities cases into securities class actions. It seemed clear enough to me that the same case that could be brought for one defrauded investor could also be brought for the hundreds or thousands of other investors who were also defrauded in the same transaction. The class action procedure gave me the ability to turn a relatively small case into a much larger one. It helped my law firm prosper by turning small matters into much larger ones. Of course, none of my legal success could have happened without the legal foundation provided to me at New York Law School. I am eternally grateful to the school for giving me the necessary tools to make my career possible. And I hope that going forward, you will have the same positive connection between your education and your career, the kind that I enjoyed. Let me conclude my remarks this morning by speaking directly to the members of the class of 2013. After this graduation, you will all move in different directions. I say to each of you, follow your instincts. Let your dreams take you to where you want to be. You must work hard, you should take chances, and recognize opportunities that will surely be there for you. You have to be scrupulously ethical and honest, and most of all, there is a great need in our world to do good. Share your success and give back to those that need help. Don't just be an I person, be a we person. You are so fortunate to be where you are. Seize the moment and run with it. Be patient with your career, for these are difficult times. From here, things will undoubtedly get better, and opportunities will certainly arise. This is an exciting time to be a lawyer, and you've gone to a great school in our great city. We live in a country that, even with its imperfections, is the envy of the rest of the civilized world. I even predict that in future, it is ordained. And as the mayor said, not only will one of you perhaps be mayor, but for sure, one of you will also get this beautiful medal that has been given to me today. You may not believe it as you sit there today that it's possible, but I'm proof that it's entirely possible. I am extremely proud and grateful to receive the law school's highest award, to be on the same stage with our great mayor, and to share my thoughts with you. Truly, in so many ways, I feel like I am the luckiest person on earth. Thank you all, and good luck.